Hello, hello. Welcome to day 13 of the Business English Idiom Challenge. Today we are looking at idioms related to innovative thinking. So we are going to jump right into that. And I'll just quickly remind you that an idiom is an expression that holds a different meaning to its literal meaning. So you need to remember them, learn them in isolation. They're used frequently by native speakers, but not used in written communication in business English. And a native speaker wouldn't use all of them all at once. Today, we are looking at these idioms related to innovative thinking. So think outside the box, blue sky thinking, break new ground. We'll also look at the idiom groundbreaking, cutting edge, push the envelope, and ahead of the curve. Have you come across any of those before? We will go through each of the idioms, and by the end of the video, in about half an hour, you will have a really good understanding of those idioms, and you will have hopefully practiced how to use them. We're going to look at them in context. First of all, please bear in mind that this is so that you can see them all and you can get a feel for them, but this is not how you would use them in real life. You wouldn't use so many idioms all at once, so please bear that in mind. Okay, I'm going to read through this. I'm not going to stop to explain it, but I will repeat this at the end. Hopefully you will see, yes, I have a better understanding of it. Okay, here we go. As a development team, we are, of course, known for our ability to think outside the box. This week, we are going to dedicate quite a few hours to blue sky thinking. We need to generate groundbreaking ideas for the next product line. Lead innovator Emma encouraged her team to explore cutting-edge technologies available with AI. I know you are all aware that we need to keep pushing the envelope in how we employ AI, she said. The brainstorming session led to some truly innovative concepts, such as an AI-driven personal assistant. By the end of the month, they had several prototypes that were ahead of the curve. Okay, so if you were thinking, I don't know, don't worry, because we'll read this again at the end and hopefully it will make more sense. But we're going to jump into looking at the idioms one by one. I'm going to give you some example sentences and get you to think about what you think it means. Okay, so you probably have heard this one before. Think outside the box. It's quite a common one. And I would encourage you, if you are listening live, hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Or if you're listening on the replay, also hello and welcome. I would encourage you to really pay attention to the idioms that you've heard before, because those are the ones that you've heard in perhaps a business context or on a TED Talk or a podcast. Those are the ones that you can focus on using and making part of your active vocabulary. So don't discount it and think, oh, I've heard that before. Yeah, but are you actually using it? Okay, so you've probably heard this one. Think outside the box. Here's the examples. I don't think we can do what we've always done. We need to think outside the box or things will get worse. Friday afternoon, we are allowed to work on whatever we choose. It's part of an initiative to encourage everyone to think outside the box. Okay, that last one, apparently, a lot of companies like 3M and Google allow employees a set amount of time to do whatever they would like and to work on something not connected to their usual role. And this is something that when in the classroom, I actually run a project called Genius Hour or 20 Time, in which for a while, 20% of our class time is spent on wildly creative projects, whatever the students would like to focus on. And it really encourages thinking outside the box. So apparently this is how Gmail was invented in Google, and this was how the Post-it note was invented in 3M, is that they gave people time to be creative and think outside the box. So what does that mean? to think outside the box? Well, it means to think in a creative or unconventional way, to kind of have time to do something different and to not just keep doing the same thing, to say, okay, let's break out of our normal routines and habits and let's do something different. So, synonyms: creative thinking, innovative thinking, unconventional thinking. We can think outside the box on a topic or about something or for a project or for an idea. Okay, here's the prompt for you. What are some ways you have thought outside the box in the past? So there's a sentence down at the bottom. I would love if you want to join in live or on the replay. Have a go at actually using the idioms straight away. So I have thought outside the box when I've let some of my classroom students run their own projects. So manage their own projects that they come up with from start to finish. For me, that's fairly outside the box because the usual paradigm of teaching is that the teacher sets the work and the student does it. So I always enjoy running projects where I have thought outside the box a little, and the students are responsible for coming up with their own ideas of what they're going to work on. What about you? Can you describe a time that you've thought outside the box? Okay, next one, blue sky thinking. This is really a business-related idiom, and especially in North America. Okay, during our blue sky thinking session, we came up with several innovative ideas for the new product line. Blue sky thinking is essential when starting a project from scratch to ensure all possibilities are considered. So it actually really is exactly the same as to think outside of the box. There's a slight difference. So I'll read the definition here, then we'll talk about the slight difference. So blue sky thinking is creative ideas that are not limited by current thinking or beliefs, or you can use it to describe the process of brainstorming to generate ideas without stopping to think about whether they are practical. I think in a business context, that's how it's usually used. So within a brainstorming session where people are coming up with ideas, someone might say, let's just make it blue sky thinking. So what they mean is, let's just put any idea forward and talk about it. So maybe you're talking about how could we transport the event attendees to the location? And someone says, well, we could use a bus. And someone else says, well, we could drive them, a few people at a time. Blue sky thinking would be any suggestion without stopping to criticize how realistic and practical that is. So, well, we could put them on skateboards. We could fly them on rockets. Those are ridiculous suggestions, but in a blue sky thinking session, you would just say, okay, let's put them down in the list. Maybe there's something that comes out of there that's useful. Like you're not going to transport your people by asking them to stand on a skateboard, but maybe you want to have, I don't know, a skateboard display at the event. And because you allowed all those ideas and you didn't stop and criticize and stop them, then it allows you to be more creative. So blue sky thinking is about allowing all ideas without criticizing any. So it's thinking outside of the box with no limit. So synonyms to think outside the box: free thinking, creative thinking, unbounded thinking. And if we go back to the first example here, during our blue sky thinking session, so some companies might actually call it that and say, okay, we're going to have a blue sky thinking session. But really, it's something that would be said more to indicate that we're not criticizing ideas. We're just going to move forward even and list the ideas, even if some of them are not practical. Okay, do you find it easy or difficult to allow blue sky thinking during brainstorming? I personally find it hard sometimes to allow blue sky thinking because there's a part of my brain that wants to say, oh, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to fly people on a rocket. Why put down silly ideas? And I find it difficult sometimes to just let the ideas flow and to not internally criticize them. What about you? Do you find it easy or difficult to have no limit on your ideas during brainstorming. See if you can use that idiom right away. Okay, we're going to move on and look at break new ground. This originally comes from where people would be building something, and after the stage of planning and preparation, having the architect design the building, the actual stage of moving forward to make something new would involve the first step of breaking the ground, like preparing the foundations. So that was the first step of creating something new. So let's look at it in a business context. Our research team is focused on breaking new ground in the field of renewable energy. The company's groundbreaking ideas have revolutionized the way we approach customer service. So if you break new ground, you do something new. You innovate, you become a pioneer, or you introduce new and significant ideas or concepts. So innovative ideas are things that are groundbreaking ideas. You can break new ground in or with something, and you can have a groundbreaking idea or concept. Okay, over to you. What groundbreaking ideas are of most interest to you? For me, I would say that, oh goodness, what is it with typos? I'm going to go back and correct these. It drives me absolutely bonkers. That means crazy, or it gets me frustrated when I find them. But there's a typo at the bottom there in the sentence stem. But that's okay. I'm going to use it. I'm going to say the groundbreaking idea I currently find most interesting is AI. I think it's got some amazing applications for us, and it's groundbreaking in it brings so many new things that we are able to do. Okay, cutting edge is the same in lots of ways as groundbreaking. Let's look at the examples. Our company is known for its cutting edge. The second one, to stay competitive, it's important to adopt cutting edge practices and tools. So if something is cutting edge, it means it is at the forefront. That means the front, the beginning, or the new part of, so the kind of groundbreaking area. It's at the forefront of innovation or technology, the leading edge. So we can talk about it being a leading edge, the innovative area, the advanced area. If something's cutting edge, it's new. So often we talk about cutting edge technology, the newest technology. I remember when smartphones were cutting edge technology, and it was so exciting. And now, of course, we have, more and more waves of things that are new and would be currently considered cutting edge technology. Okay. And sorry, we can also talk about cutting edge technology or innovation or research. How do you keep your skills and knowledge on the cutting edge in your profession? So for me, I keep my skills and knowledge on the cutting edge by having a professional development plan. It's something that as a classroom educator, you are required to have, but I think it's useful for any professional. An actual annual plan as to what I will learn and what I will implement. So it usually has a focus on one area that I'll be working on for the year, and then that focus will guide the courses that I do and the training that I undertake and the practices that I do. So for me, I keep my skills and knowledge on the cutting edge by having a yearly plan that I follow. What about you? How do you make sure that your skills and knowledge are on the cutting edge of what's available? Okay, push the envelope. This is not actually about envelopes in origin. This comes from the field of mathematics, where an envelope was an area of like skill or capacity, I believe. Anyway, here's the examples. Our company encourages employees to push the envelope and explore new possibilities. Pushing the envelope in design has led to some truly groundbreaking products. So what do you think push the envelope means? Well, it means to challenge limits, go beyond boundaries, or innovate. It means to see what you can push yourself to achieve or to do. So we can talk about challenging limits, innovating, exploring possibilities. We can push the envelope on or with something. Here's a prompt for you. What does pushing the envelope mean to you in your professional life? And it's really great to write out a sentence using the idiom. It also might be good to practice speaking the idiom out loud and to answer this question, either yourself or with ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT to have a back and forth conversation with you about this. So for me, an example of pushing the envelope is trying to integrate AI into my English teaching and trying to help other people use AI effectively. What about you? What would be an example of pushing the envelope in your professional life? I would love to hear from you, whether you are live or whether you are on the replay. Okay, ahead of the curve. Our company prides itself on being ahead of the curve in adopting new technologies. In this sense, if you adopt a technology, it means you take on and you use it. Okay, number 2, staying ahead of the curve requires constant learning and adaptation. So ahead of the curve means leading or pioneering, staying ahead of trends or development, and very similar to being on the cutting edge. So my company is on the cutting edge. That means they're at the forefront, the beginning of all of the new advances. Or we can talk about they are ahead of the curve, so in front of everyone in terms of adopting technology. So if you're ahead of the curve, you're leading, you're pioneering, you're trend-setting, you are being on the cutting edge. So we can be ahead of the curve in an area or ahead of the curve with an idea or a project. How important is it for a business to stay ahead of the curve, and why? So when I first thought about this prompt, I thought, well, it's obviously important for businesses to be ahead of the curve so that they are competitive. And then I thought about some of the businesses that we have in my area of Scotland, and they are not ahead of the curve. It seems like they've not adapted or changed in like generations. And that's actually what people like about them. So it's not every business that needs to be ahead of the curve. Some of the shops in my area, they've been operating since like 1500 and something. And people like the fact that they're not really ahead of the curve. They are traditional. So perhaps you could think of an example of a business where it is important to be ahead of the curve and talk about that. Or think of an example of a business where it is not beneficial to be ahead of the curve or to be on the cutting edge. Okay, I promised that we would go back to the extract and I would read it again and explain it. And hopefully you would get a feeling of, yes, I understand these more. So let's go through it again. As a development team, we are, of course, known for our ability to think outside the box. So we're known for our creative thinking. This week, we are going to dedicate quite a few hours to blue sky thinking. So this week, we're going to have meetings where we come up with lots of ideas without criticizing any of them. We're just going to generate a whole load of ideas all at once. Okay. We need to generate groundbreaking ideas. So we need new, innovative, creative ideas for the next product line. Lead innovator Emma encouraged her team to explore cutting-edge technologies, so new technologies, innovative technologies. So cutting edge or new technologies available with AI, artificial intelligence. I know you are all aware that we need to keep pushing the envelope. So we need to keep changing and challenging ourselves to do better. We need to keep pushing the envelope in how we employ AI, she said. To employ a tool or a strategy or technique or AI, to employ it just in this sense means to use it. That's quite a good collocation, right? Instead of using AI, I am employing AI. So that in itself is really useful. To employ a tool in a formal way would be to say that you are using that tool. So she says, we need to keep challenging ourselves, so pushing the envelope in how we employ or use AI. Last paragraph, the brainstorming session led to some truly innovative concepts such as an AI-driven personal assistant, By the end of the month, they had several prototypes. That means the first version of a product that could perhaps be used. So several prototypes that were ahead of the curve. So several kind of demo products that were at the front of technology, ahead of all of their competition. Okay, just a reminder that you'll have access to these slides in the free resource library. I'll put the link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. But before we wrap up, I'll do a really quick quiz, and I would invite you to play along, whether you're watching on the live or the replay. We'll go through these 2 questions. Our company's commitment to research and development has led to several something innovations in the field of healthcare. So field of healthcare, that means, in medicine. So something innovations. A, break new ground. B, groundbreaking. Or C, groundbreak. What do you think? And then the second one, number 2, the startup's something product design caught the attention of investors for its innovative features and sleek design. Sleek in this sense means really stylish and without too many features. So pared down or simple. Okay, the startup something product. A, think outside the box. B, blue sky thinking. Or C, cutting edge. What do you think? Have you got it for both of them? Oh, I'm going to get out the way again so you can see it. Here's the answers. Okay, number 1, our company's commitment to research and development has led to several groundbreaking innovations in the field of healthcare. Number 2, the startup's cutting-edge product design caught the attention of investors for its innovative features and sleek design. There we have it. We got through our idioms connected to innovation. Thank you for joining me. And I really hope that you will be with me for day 14 tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.